Oi girls and boys and everything in between, it's Ace Trainer Liam back with another episode of Form Fight. Form Fight is a series where we take a look at a Pokemon with more than one form or a branched evolution or counterpart Pokemon. We take a look at the differences between those forms and we try and work out which one is the best. And so we can see these Pokemon in action on the battlefield. We also have a Metronome Battle between the different Pokemon in question, just for a bit of fun really. If you're a fan of the Form Fight series and you're ready for more, hit the like button to show your appreciation for the series, and of course if you're new to the series, remember to subscribe with notifications on so you never miss an episode. But with all that out of the way, let's have a look at today's challengers. Today we're going to be comparing the two forms of Meowstic, Meowstic male and Meowstic female. Meowstic's pre-evolution Esper only has one form. However, a male Esper will evolve into male Meowstic at level 25, and a female Esper will of course evolve into female Meowstic at level 25. But what makes these two forms so different? Let's take a look. The Pokédex tells us that both forms of Meowstic stand at 0.6 meters tall and weigh 8.5 kilograms. They both share a Pokédex entry, which tells us when in danger, it raises its ears and releases enough psychic power to grind a 10-ton truck to dust. The eyeball patterns on the interior of its ears emit psychic energy. It keeps the patterns tightly covered because that power is too immense. In terms of appearance, these two Pokemon forms are of course very similar. Both are bipedal feline creatures with long ears that fold over to hide the source of their psychic powers. And of course, because they're from Kalos and they're kind of almost like mascots of the Kalos region, they've got kind of a French look to them, if that's a thing you can say. Both Pokemon have subtle differences though to make the male look slightly more masculine, I guess, and the female more feminine. In their shiny forms, both forms simply switch out their blue coloration for yellow. It's as simple as that. Now let's take a look at their typing, weaknesses, and resistances. Both these Pokemon are pure Psychic type Pokemon, so this section's going to be pretty brief. They're both weak to Bug, Ghost, and Dark type moves, and they both resist fighting and psychic attacks. And of course, neither of them have any immunities. Now we'll take a look at the stats and abilities of these Pokemon forms. Both forms of Meowstic share the same base stats, having decent speed with above average special attack and special defense, with physical attack and defense and HP that isn't really worth screaming home about. To be honest, both these Pokemon are really outclassed by a lot of other pure Psychic type Pokemon. The main difference between these Pokemon is their movesets, with male Meowstic learning a lot more status moves and female Meowstic learning a lot more damaging moves. They both have the same primary ability, which is Keen Eye, which prevents Meowstic from having its accuracy lowered, which is a fine ability, but Meowstic's other abilities certainly leave this one with something to be desired. They also share a secondary ability, which is Infiltrator, which ignores the effects of Reflect, Light Screen, Aurora Veil, Safeguard, and Mist, as well as allowing these Pokemon to damage opponents that are hiding behind a substitute. This ability is a great strategy ruiner in situations where opponents are playing defense, simply ignoring the shields that they've put in place. These two Pokemon forms do actually have different hidden abilities, however. For male Meowstic, its hidden ability is Prankster, which gives priority to status moves. This really is the crux of male Meowstic as a competitive Pokemon, since most of its arsenal is made up of status moves. This ability allows male Meowstic to be the master disruptor it's designed to be. As for female Meowstic, its hidden ability is Competitive, which increases Meowstic's special attack by 2 stages each time it has one of its stats lowered. This can massively bring out female Meowstic's potential by massively boosting its firepower, especially if starting out against a Pokemon with Intimidate. Now it's time for me to decide which of these two Meowstic forms I prefer, and honestly, it's not because I'm a guy, but I prefer the male version. Like, it just looks cooler. I like the amount of blue compared to the little white details. I just like the look of it. I think it's a lot cuter. I feel like female Meowstic, I don't know, it looks too much like it's wearing a beret and clothes and stuff like that. I'm not interested in that. I like the, male Meowstic has like a really bushy looking tail and stuff, and almost has kind of a fox look to it rather than a cat look. I don't know. I just really prefer male Meowstic from that perspective. With female Meowstic, I know it's better in battle because it's got more offensive moves, but at the same time, I don't really rate it compared to other Psychic types. So in terms of a unique Pokemon to battle with, I feel like male Meowstic with the Prankster ability is a much more unique Pokemon to bring to battle because it's so specifically designed to be a disruptive, status-inducing Pokemon. But of course, it's not just up to me, it's up to you guys to decide which of these two Meowstic forms you prefer, but before you do that, let's see these Pokemon on the battlefield. It's time for the Metronome Battle. Before we start out, of course, I just have to remind you guys, these Pokemon have max IVs in all stats, 0 EVs in all stats, they're not holding any items, they have neutral natures, they've got the same type, the same base stats, pretty much everything about these Pokemon, apart from their movesets, which are irrelevant because they all know Metronome. There's nothing. There's no difference between these Pokemon going into this battle. Everything is at the mercy of the Metronome today. Let's do this. It's time. The battle to see who has the best pussy cat in the entire Pokemon world. Is it Meowstic male or Meowstic female? Let's find out as everybody enters the battlefield. Who's going to move first? Well, everybody's got the same stats here, so it could be anybody. We see regular male going for Petal Blizzard to start things off. That's an interesting move because that's going to hit everybody on the field. Here we see shiny male. What's it going to bring to the table? Going to go with Payday. Little tiny bit of chip damage there on regular female. It's now the girl's time to strike back. So we see regular female coming out with Anchor Shot. Now that's going to be a great one. Oh, that looks disgusting coming out of its mouth. That's terrifying. Meowstic female using Anchor Shot is now the thing of nightmares. Here we see Flash from shiny female. Gonna lower the accuracy of regular male Meowstic there. So regular male Meowstic's got to be careful now because it's not going to be able to hit quite as many moves as I'd like to. Smackdown coming out. Some rock type damage from shiny male onto regular female. Here we see regular male coming out with Torment. Now that's interesting in a Metronome battle because it means each turn regular female is going to be able to use Metronome once, but then it will have to struggle on the next turn and then use Metronome after that. Psycho Boost with some stab behind it coming out from shiny female, doing a decent amount of damage to shiny male there. But we do get the special attack drop. Here we see regular female with Wild Charge. It's going to do a little bit of physical damage, decent amount on regular male, but does give a little bit of recoil damage to regular female as well. And here we see shiny male. What's it got in mind? Liquidation. That's a beautiful move. Lovely, lovely Gen 7 move. Doing a tiny little bit of damage to regular female as regular male comes back in with a double kick. Not going to be massively effective. Not very effective at all, really. Does a little bit, probably about 4 damage at most to regular female. Here's that struggle we were talking about. Tiny bit of damage to shiny male, but 25% of female's overall health with that recoil damage. Here we see shiny female going for Spore. Gonna put regular male to sleep to try and buy the female team some time, who are obviously in a very difficult position because once that regular female struggles again, it's gonna knock itself out. So they really need to win this battle ASAP. Here we see shiny male bringing in mean look, so no one can, so shiny female can't escape, but that's completely pointless because there's no escaping in this battle. Here we see Metronome coming out from shiny female with a Fire Blast. That's gonna do significant damage to regular male. I say significant, it did barely anything to regular male, so well done there, but she did have a special attack drop earlier on. Stockpile coming out from regular female. That's not a good idea. You are raising your defenses, but you're going to lose 25% of your overall HP the next turn, which means that you're going to get knocked out anyway next turn. Here we see regular male with Solar Beam. It's going to absorb light on this turn and going to attack the next turn. That could do some terrible damage. Here's shiny male with Prismatic Laser. Now that's a move where this Pokemon's going to need to recharge on the next turn. Does a significant amount of damage to shiny female. There's regular female going with the struggle. Tiny bit of damage to shiny male, but knocks itself out. So it's all down to shiny female to get the win for the female team. It is not looking good. Can she pull something out of the bag like a tailwind? Okay, she's going to be faster because of the tailwind, but it's not really going to help you out really that much. Here we see Metronome coming out from shiny female, but I don't know if it's too little too late. String Shot, trying to slow the other team down. You really need to be working on offense at this point. You need to be coming out with Boom Burst or Hyper Voice or Dazzling Gleam at this point. Here's that Solar Beam we were waiting for from regular male. How much damage is it going to do? It's brought her down to the red. We see shiny male needing to recharge there. Regular male, because of Prankster, is going to start this turn anyway with Secret Power. Does a tiny little bit of damage. Here's the other male. Again, Prankster allows him to move first, going for Teleport, but it is going to fail. That gives female a chance to finally do some damage. It needs to recover or do some damage or something. Fire Lash is not going to do enough to take out regular male. Does drop its defense, but is it too little too late at this point? It may well be. Here is regular male. What's going to happen? Eruption. It's over. Look at that. Gonna damage shiny female, just enough to take her out, and unfortunately for the female team, the male team has been very dominant this time, really taking advantage of its Prankster ability. Well done, lads! So you've heard what I've got to say, you've seen these Pokemon on the battlefield, but now it's time for your decision. Which of these two Pokemon forms is your favourite? Is it male Meowstic? Is it female Meowstic? Let me know in the comments below, and tell everybody why your pick wins the battle of the cat sexes, I guess? Probably should reword that. Of course, if you enjoyed this video, hit the like button. It really helps me out. And of course, subscribe so you never miss an episode of Form Fight. But of course, until next time, I'm Ace Trainer Liam. Keep on training.